Okay, time to look at a little bit more food now. Let's make sure we do that correctly, and we'll go to 0, 0. Let's jump back up to 8, 4.8. So if we go here, we're going to go to 16, 9.6. So then a couple of cookies will get us to 20. That's 10, and that's 10.4. So we've got 20, 10.4. Not ideal for that one. And that's what you really have to do with this, is you have to look at different ways of mixing together the values to see if you can get something good. So let's try something a little bit different then. One of the things we have to do to really understand this is we always have to go for something that is going to increase. So I think chorus fruit might not be bad. That's 4, 2.4. Well, I suppose 4, 2.4 is the same as an apple, so we could use an apple. And I think this idea that this is half of this, the apple is half pumpkin pie, is very useful. I think if we wanted to really maximize usage of this, and obviously this is sort of keeping in mind that you have to know exactly what you've got, would be to use apples. So with apples we can go 4 food points, 2.4 saturation, so that would be 8 food points. One of the things I actually didn't show in the last little clip was that what you can do as well is if you do this, you can go 4, 2.4, 8, 4.8, 12, 7.2, and then 20, 20. So that's another way you can do that, which sort of is kind of what I just said, I suppose, but in a slightly different way. Another thing that's kind of interesting is, like, if we did try the pumpkin pie with the golden carrot. I mean, it is interesting with the spider eye doing the effects do, because they mess with the exhaustion level. It's like kind of like, it's interesting. I also thought about other things like doing splash potions so that we can avoid getting extra exhaustion. If you do a splash potion of healing, that will actually, I believe it will not. It will mean that you don't actually get the exhaustion level. So the exhaustion level, every time that hits 4, it will decrease your saturation by 1 point. So if you did splash potion of healing, you could actually negate that. But yeah. So if we go, so this would be 8, 4.8, and then this one is 6. But you see, then it would go to 14, but then it would want to go to 19.2, and it wouldn't be able to, so it would have to truncate at 14. So that would be like not good, right? It would just go to 14, 14 with these two. So let's just confirm that. So we go to 8, 4.8, and that's going to have messed it up. But it's okay. I think because I didn't reach the... Well, actually, yeah. Once you actually heal from this effect... So yeah, once I actually heal, you should see the... Let's see if it does it. You can see there the exhaustion level just got messed up. And that's not really what you want. But that is an illustration of the effect of the regeneration. But yeah, assuming you don't do any more regeneration, though, I guess during each cycle, if you don't do a regeneration, it won't affect things too badly. Now the normal foods are kind of interesting, right? So what's this? This is 6, 7.2 probably. 10. I think rabbit stew has got unusual properties. So we won't talk about that one. But yeah, these are both 6, 7.2. Beetroot is 1, 1.2. So you could potentially do something. There may be a way that these can be used together. So 4, 2.4. So the difference there would be 1.6, and the difference between these is 1.2. So if you could get 8 of these, it would be 8, 9.6, right? So you could do 8, 9.6, and then what else would you need on it? You would need to have something that was 12, 10.4. It wouldn't quite fit, to be honest. It is difficult to work out if you're gonna have a load of different types of food. It wouldn't quite fit, but, and that's the thing with stuff like this. like you have to sort of base your whole system around this, right? One thing you could do though, so this is 6.7.2, right? Yeah, 6.7.2. So obviously that 1.2 extra will be wasted unless you've got the saturation high enough. So we could do it straight in Apple because that's got a difference of 1.6 between the food points and saturation, and this is only 1.2. So you would be able to get full. So you would go full 2.4, and then you would be able to take the whole of this. So then you would get full 2.4, and then you would get to 10 9.6. So yeah, I mean, wouldn't be too bad actually. So we take this is the same thing basically. So this so yeah. So what would that be? 4, 8. We don't really need to worry about saturation. 4, 8, 14, 20. Wouldn't quite make it, but it'd be pretty close. Not bad. Very close though to maximum with that as well. So yeah, so you can see there's all sorts of variations of things that you can do with this. If you're thinking, obviously, I'm considering this situation where you're on 0, 0, because it's the easiest one to consider, right? But can you base it around maybe some good food, right? So these, I believe, so yeah. The mutton is worse than the steak and the pork chop. These I know are 812.8. Yeah, there is nothing, by the way, that is that is 12, 11, 12, 7.2 though. So no, there really is. I mean, you could potentially do something interesting with cake. That's very poor food cake. Out of all the very poor foods, I'm just thinking which one has got the most. Clownfish is 0.2. So for instance, like if you look to say clownfish, which is in this category here, because it's 0.2, we'll see what happens here. We're going to end up with 5 and 1, right? So that's 5 and 1. And I believe, yeah, so if you look at the minutiae of this. Oh no, it doesn't seem to add it correctly. Okay. To be honest, that's a slightly minor point about the graphics there of Apple Skin. But yeah, I think yeah, I mean 6.7.2 unfortunately is the same as. Oh no, sorry, it's not 6.7.2. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, this is 6.9.6, which is actually the mutton is actually got a unique value, I believe. Yeah, a lot of these values are quite similar, but the 6.9.6 might be interesting. I'm curious to see how that might work with this one then. So there's a 3.6 difference here. Is the pumpkin pie got a 3.6 difference? No, it's 3.2, isn't it? I think it's 3.2, the pumpkin pie difference. Yeah. It's not bad though. So we've got 8, 4.8, and then this would be 14 plus 14.2. So you would actually not get much waste from. Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad one. But yeah, I meant to say something about carrots as well. Did I ditch my carrots for some reason? Which category do carrots fall under? Sorry, 1 second. Carrots, they're normal with bread, right? So yeah, one of the other things that I forgot to mention here was that is the this comparison between carrots and bread. So bread is 5 food points with 6 saturation, whereas carrots is 3 but 3.6. So they both have a saturation ratio of 1.2, but and the effective quality of 6.6. But well, sorry, bread's effective quality is 11, obviously. But But yeah, if you go for 0, 0 here, that's 3.6, 6, 7.2, 9, 10.8, and then I forgot my 6 times table. But yeah, you need about just under, so 6 of them would be 18, and then 36 times 6, 216. No, 36 times 5 is 180. 36 times 6 is 216. How many have I just eaten? I've eaten 6. That's right. So the reason it didn't go up that much is because, again, it's being constrained by the one rule that I mentioned before, which is that the saturation cannot exceed the food points. So it's constantly getting constrained. It's always going to be the same value. Basically, if you eat any food where the saturation is higher than the food points, and you're starting from a flat base of food equal to saturation, you'll always just get the food points rather than, it will almost be like the saturation doesn't exist. So yeah, you basically have to eat 7 carrots to get those 21 food points to max it out, and then you're always going to get full saturation. And with bread, it's 5 and 6. So 5, it's just simple 5, 10, 15, 20, right? So you need 4, but then the point is that carrots only require 1 item, whereas bread requires 3 wheat. So the difference between, the ratio, it would need to be, basically it would need to be 12. It would need to be 12 for equal, 13 or above for greater, right? For bread to be a better food source than carrots. So they're not, basically. So that is explained there. These are part of the normal food category. Baked potato, by the way, exactly the same as bread. I guess I can see why baked potato are now more value, because you only need 1 bake. The problem is if you see the cooking the potato as an issue. A lot of it, from what I gather, is sort of this whole. It's, if you look at the cost of cooking the potato, it's not going to be great to actually cook a potato. Like if you say you can't cook the potato and you have to deal with raw potatoes are actually in this category. So they are, I guess they're 1.2. Let's have a look. Once you look at the numbers a lot, oh sorry, of course they're not. They're 0.6. That's why in a low category. Yeah. Funnily enough, poisonous potatoes are 1.2. Whereas opposed to the spider eyes, which are 3.2. There you can see the massive difference, why there's this huge gulf between them. But there are certain things, like for instance, if we go for the raw potatoes, we can get certain things out of them, right? So that's 0.6. So say we eat 8 of them, we'll go to 4.8. So essentially, another way of looking at this, and this is actually a good way to actually look at. So that's 4.8. This is 0.6. So 1 times 8 is 8. 0.6 times 8 is 4.8. So it's exactly the same. So those two item stacks are exactly the same, which is cool. And yeah, obviously things like the exhaustion just get affected by moving around in the world, and status effects as well. But one of the reasons why, so potato is 0.6, and then cookie is 0.4. But that's so much worse, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess the good way to look at that is when you're getting closer to where you want to be. So we'll start here. We'll go for an apple. We'll go for the steak next, actually. So at this point, if I had cookies, right, because I'm only going up 0.2, I would have 4 cookies, and then that would be the end of it, right? And I would only go up by 0.8. But in this situation, with the potato, I could have 4 potatoes, but I would go up by 2.4. So still wouldn't be perfect, but it's going to be better than what you get from cookies at this stage. I did also want to have a little look at watermelon. Why not do watermelon as well? Which is called melon, which is always confuses me that watermelon is called melon. There we go. So these are not belong in here. You belong in the rubbish one. So if we look at the melon situation, that's 2 1.2. Actually, that's exactly the same as. Let me see. 2 1.2 is the same as potato, which is yeah. So another way to look at it is this: 2 melons equal 1 potato. So this is 2 1.2. This is 1 0.6. And because of that, of course, they have the same saturation ratio. And they get relegated into the low quality food category. And that I think that's kind of, I mean, there's various other foods you could talk about, but when I look at all the different types of food, there's not really a huge amount else to talk about. The thing I did in the last episode with the spider eye, I think, is interesting, and it's certainly worth exploring things like for instance, if I did use splash potions, if I got like a lingering potion of healing, say a couple of these things, right? Yeah, you see that what the point is, I would be able to negate the effects of the poison, but see, it's not the poison that's causing the problem. It's the fact that, well, I wonder if it is the poison. Maybe it is the poison that's causing the problem. That's actually a very good question. I'll need to look into that more. But yeah, but the point is, I'm just going to leave it there anyway. So thanks for watching. Here's the thing, right? If you look at this, and you look at the cross section in the background, it's difficult because when the hearts move, it looks like they're coming back up. But you'll notice that the cross section in the background, it's only once I get to this point where I'm over what is it, 90 over 18, right? That you see the effect, the regeneration effect messing up with the exhaustion level, and that is the kind of issue I wanted to illustrate there. So thanks for watching.